Well, hello there, you guys. How are you? Welcome to the Crow Cottage. I'm Kathy Crow, and we are going to stamp with, I didn't get it out, but I'll find it. It's right behind me. Actually going to do this card today. I've been having so much fun playing with our little garden shed. This is the garden shed stamp. And then we're going to put our little Let It Ride horse in there. He's so cute. But if you go over to my Pinterest page, you'll see all kinds of projects. I've been making all kinds of stuff. So I'm kind of turning around here because I'm going to have to find that garden shed. And I'm hoping it's where it's supposed to be. We'll find out as we go. Hi there, Linda. Oh, it's good to see you. I hope things are going good for you. And I'm going to draw my names right now. I've got it all ready. Linda, you weren't in the drawing last week. I wonder where you were. I didn't see you in my list, so hopefully I didn't miss you. And Jewel, you won last week, and then I think I sent something to you, and I was sort of confused that whether I did or not, because when I cleaned the spot where your name would have been from the drawing, I didn't see your name. Hi, Marty. So I thought, well, I think I sent something to her, but I'm not really sure. So Jewel, if you don't get anything within the next couple of days, make sure you let me know so that I can send it out. All right, you were probably out. Good. I'm glad you were out shopping. One of my favorite things to do. Probably not yours either. Depends on what you're shopping for, right? But it is beautiful out there. So anytime I can get outside now, I'm happy. It's a little cold still. I'm having to stay outside watering a lot just because it's been so dry this winter, so dry and windy. Oh my goodness. So the wind and the dryness has really just sucked all that moisture out of the ground. And hi, Marty. And so, anyway, I'm looking out there. I see the birds are enjoying it. The squirrels are enjoying it. And we'll see who won last week's drawing. And it is Marty. Congratulations, Marty. So I am going to put your name right there. And it shouldn't go anywhere. I've kind of tidied things up. So I shouldn't have any trouble with it. Now let me quickly, because I forgot to put my classes up on Facebook. I think I had it posted everywhere else. Totally forgot. Hi, Trudy. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. Okay, so March 20th. That's just in a couple of weeks. So oh my goodness, I'm really behind the ball. So then for all the rest of my classes until up through June, I believe, I've got them all scheduled down, ready to be posted so that you'll see what they are. This Poppies class is so cute. I think this is what we're doing. Yeah, I think this is the next one we're doing. And it has this little card insert. Now, I think what I'm going to do is I am going to put a little ribbon around the edge too, maybe, because I saw someone had done that, and I thought it added a really nice touch to the pot. And then this one is a belly band. So we're just going to, put that's why it's called Poppies Band Together, because we're going to do the poppies with the belly band. I love these little belly bands. They're so cute. Love those. I've had so much fun playing with those. You can make really nice things without too much trouble using a belly band. And so we're going to use a couple of them. This one is going to slide off of the side instead of on the front. And then we're going to have a space to write on here or stamp on, whichever you prefer. And so anyhow, well, actually I left it blank because I'm kind of preferred it to be blank. When you get your belly band on, you'll see what I mean. It has a lot of stuff on it. Right? But you could write something right behind it and it would be fine. Then it'd be a nice little surprise when they slid it off. Thank you. So this is the Poppies class, but I'm really excited about our little Easter egg class. This is the Full of Promise one because I'm going to put jelly beans in this for you guys. I've been on a jelly bean on a little jelly bean thing. So I've been getting a little jelly on the belly from the jelly beans. So I'm still dieting. But isn't the egg cute? He's so cute. We're going to put this little Brad in the corner, and then his little egg can open up. So when you give this to one of your grandkids. They can play with it for a few minutes and then they're going to rip off the egg top, but it's all good because it's paper. You can't really do anything too much to it. So anyway, we're just doing that. And then, of course, I always put in, for Easter, I like to put in a religious element. So, and I love this stamp set. It's really pretty. So anyway, that's what I kind of went a little crazy with my gold dots on there, but it's because I have a bunch of them. And so for this class, we are thinking using up my supply of gold pearls. All right, so let me hop out of the, I forgot to show you my little purse. This is for the poppies one, and so you'll have a little purse with some kind of goodie in there. I don't know, you might have glue or something, who knows, because it's fairly big, you know. When I made it, I was thinking, whoa, that's kind of cute. It's not all that sturdy, but it's going to be sturdy enough to hold something kind of fun and cute. All right. I think we are ready to start. And it's going to take me a minute just to get things together today because I got so many things going here. And oops, my camera. Now, camera, you're not supposed to do that. It was saying it doesn't like to rotate. When I put my hand over you, you are not supposed to know that you're rotating. So, anyway, it did. It knew it was rotating. It did not like it. It let me know, but I think we are all good anyhow, even though it did do that. Okay, so sorry about trying to get it all situated. I'm trying to show my little host code up there if anyone is interested in placing an order. Right now, we've got all of our our celebration stuff is going on. Excuse my voice, trying to get that off. I've got to get it on again because I have to hit that video again just so I can see our comment feed. And now that sound is off so I can see your comments and you can help keep me on track. Sometimes you guys have been giving me some really good pointers. So let me see which direction I want this camera to go. Aha, there we go. Now we've got a little bit more of my workspace rather than all just out over here in the corner. And hopefully my light is not too terribly bright. I've got this DSP out because it seems to tone it down just a little bit. All right, so what we are going to do is we're going to need to cut our cardstock. I'm using Whisper White and Mossy Meadow is all I'm using. And so I already had half of my Whisper White done. This is just, 4 1/4 by 11. And I'm just going to cut that in half. We'll cut this at 5 1/2. If I can get it right on that line, we will. And 5 1/2, and we'll just leave it at that. We'll score it at 4 1/4. And that way we'll have something nice to write on in the middle, of the card. And then I'll cut this one at 4 1/4 so we have something to work with. But this will, of course, be trimmed down. But we're going to go ahead and I want to stamp on it first before I do any of the trimming because my stamping gets all carried away. Now, this extra piece I don't want to lose, so I'm going to just stick it on the side. We'll use it for this little tag, I'm sure. All right, so there's our base card. And I'm going to try to prevent myself from getting ink all over these things because that's what's happening. All right, so with this card, the first thing I want to do is stamp that shed. It's very large, and one thing you could do with the garden shed, it's actually, I think this would be fairly easy to fussy cut out. And then you would have it standing out from your card. And I'm going to do one like that because I think that will be very cool. But I'm trying to do something simpler to just, show that we can. I've got my big giant block, but I think it actually fits on our smaller block. That giant block's pretty hard. I would recommend using the Stamparatus for this one. It's pretty big, and it's difficult to always get a good impression, although I have to say I don't think I've had any trouble with this one. This is Early Espresso. It's been stamping pretty good. So having said that, we're gonna just see if it does stamp well today when I need it to. And we're gonna go pretty close to the bottom here and apply some pretty good pressure on that middle section. Okay, so that turned out pretty good. I'm not going to complain about that. Get our stamp cleaned off really well. This is a very detailed stamp, so you want to make sure you get all that ink off of the center part. Now that that part is stamped, we want to do, I think I want to do the background coloring. Oh, maybe I better put in my horse. I better put my little horse in first because, uh-oh, let it ride. Where are you? There you are. With the Let It Ride, I'm looking at this and seeing that you guys still don't really need to see my lamp and everything. Let's move us over just a bit more. And then maybe I can have a little more space to work on. That would be pleasant for a change. I've used this a lot. Here's my masked one. I stamped this and cut it out to use as a mask, but when I made this card, I really just wanted to use this horse, not the other one. So, since this is the first time, I was planning to do this all along, but just hadn't needed to yet. But this card was the one that needed the separation. Knew these guys were going to have to separate at some point. And this was the card that they had to part ways with. This is a good stamp to do this with. It's very easy to cut right by them. You do want to turn it over and make sure you're not cutting any of the parts you want off. But feel free to do these things with your stamps. But before you do it, make sure you evaluate very carefully whether you are going to use it apart very often. I will. I will want this one apart a lot, and I really like this one. So it's definitely worth it. Now, if it had a die, I wouldn't have done that probably, although you could still do it even with a die, and it's not going to affect things. You guys probably already have your little horses all separated. You probably did that long ago. And so now what I'm going to want to do is fix my little masking piece that I keep in there, because I don't really need it together anymore. Okay, you can't bring yourself to do that. You're so funny. Okay, this is just Tuxedo Black. And we're going to want to make sure I have plenty of room for my trees here. I don't want those trees to be up too terribly tall. Since he's kind of a horse in the background, I don't want him to be too close to the door either. But that's going to have to do. Since he's there, that's where he will be. And then I'm just using these little trees from the Let It Ride set for this part of the background. So we'll stick that in there. And let's use Mossy Meadow. Probably going to do some stamping off with these guys. Let's see. Let's see if you'll fit. You don't really fit on that. We'll grab the next size up. All right. So, Mossy Meadow. Now we can go into these trees some, it won't matter. And remember, I am going to be trimming off some, so I kind of want my trees to be over here a bit. Okay, that's pretty light. My Mossy Meadow, what are you doing? Are you running out over here? Now that is not the effect I want. It's not quite getting what I want. We're going to have to just do another darker one right there. It's not quite the same, but it's close enough. It's going to have to do. I did kind of like having them behind this tree, so I think I'm going to just take my little paper and we'll get some there, and then with my pen I'll just correct that because I don't want to stamp that again and fix that. I really didn't even want them on there, but that's okay. We're going to live with it. It's what happened because I didn't have my paper over there far enough, and so that's just the way it is. We're going to have to just make do. Anyway, these cards have been really good to make. I use the From All of Us from, I think this is probably from one of the little itty bitties, and this is a great card that I can send to a guy, a girl, a kid, you know, anyone. Okay. Want to do the background for the sky. So I'm getting out Pool Party. And I'm going to get out our little handy dandy tool that I have really just only do this for our sky now because it's just so much more, such a much smoother finish for me. I've tried a lot of things. This is just hands down the best tool for me. Someone else probably has more skill and can be more varied, but that's what I'm using. So we'll do that. Don't need a lot. And then we're just going to use, I've got Pear Pizzazz, but Old Olive would work just as well. I think I actually used Old Olive. All right, let's see. Linda says that it's easier to cut them apart now that they are not. Yes, Linda. Wasn't that a nuisance when they weren't on? That was really difficult. Remember doing that. I'd have to use my X-Acto knife and oh my, that actually was really scary. These are like not at all scary to do, but the X-Acto knife version, cutting apart was terribly, terribly scary. Okay, I'm gonna have to use my little horse mask. Now I actually should have stamped these guys on a sticky note because this is gonna leave a little bit of a ridge around him, but I'm gonna just make do with it, and I'm not sure how dark that is, so let's just be a little gentle here. See, not too bad. Okay, so now that I know it's not too bad, I'm gonna do this part fairly quickly. I'm gonna come back in with a pen and some other stuff on that anyhow. Just wanna try to prevent having to use up all of the ink from my blending pens and markers on my background. Okay, we'll get you in here. Let's just use tiny bit. Now I should at this point, since we're having just a tiny bit, I'm gonna just take my little felt and I'm gonna just use my finger with it to get these little bits right here. Okay, very, very good. And then I can put those parts away. I was so excited to see that both of my little daffodils are open out there this morning. Very cute. And glad that they were ones that had an orange, they call it a corona, the trumpet and the little frill, I think, too. I'm not sure. I'm not an expert, you know. But they're the orange ones. I really like the yellow and orange combination, but the big yellow King Alfreds are probably the best daffodils out there, and they're just all yellow. All right, let's do the horse right now. So we'll use some bronze, and we'll just color him in pretty quick. He doesn't have to be dealt with too much. And we're going to make that back leg darker than the front, just to indicate a little bit of shading there. Okay. All right. Now, I think I need, first of all, I want to attend to my little trees. Those little chickens back there. Let's see. We've got Old Olive, I hope. Yes, Old Olive. Let's make sure that's the right color. We're gonna just try to get you guys down here a little closer there. That's pretty good. All right. And now, this is the big job, the coloring of the shed. What are we going to do with the coloring of the shed? I think what I did, first of all, is I took my bronze. I better get rid of my glasses because now we're at the fussy coloring part. And one rule of thumb, which I know I've said before, is just follow all of your lines. Well, in this case, there's so many detailed lines, you're not going to be able to take the time to follow all of them, but follow the main ones. And then even the little teeny tiny ones that are dotted, you can kind of dot those in a little bit. Where there's going to be shadow, you'll want to put a heavier line. And that's partly why there's so many lines right under that eaves, because there would be some shadow there. I think I'm gonna color a little bit in between those little shovel things. Now this is quite dark on the side, so I am gonna just color you in. Now I'm not getting my head in right under because I don't want you to just have to look at my head. So I am going to go out of the lines here and there just because I don't have my head right down on it to see. So you'll have to forgive me if it's a little bit on the sloppy side. That's just the life of doing it on camera. I'm actually usually very careful about this. These have a fairly blunt tip on this fine tip. It's not very fine. So we are not going to be using it on these tiny bits. We'll use a marker. The marker has a much finer tip on its fine tip. So here's our steps. We want to get those steps in there. Those would be a little darker. Okay, let's see. I guess we can do the door. I've done the door a few ways, and I kind of liked having it just slightly different color, but we'll still stick with this as the dark part. Don't you love these landscape type sets? How wonderful. They've coordinated so beautifully. I do not remember a time when, this is Ivory, when Stampin' Up! Had so many. There's the French countryside. I've been having so much fun putting these all together. French countryside, this Let It Ride, Mountain Air, the Grace's Garden, Snowfront, I could go on and on. They have been so gorgeous to put together. I haven't even got to my Power of Hope yet. And that was one when I saw it, I was so excited about. Power of Hope. Oh, it's beautiful. I haven't gotten to it yet. There's still all of these other ones. Every time I start working on one of these, I think, okay, I'm going to make one card with it, and I'm going to go on to another one. But while I'm making these cards, I get ideas for other cards using this same, it was the same way with Grace's Garden. As I was doing Grace's Garden, I was thinking of all these other things I wanted to put with it. When I did Mountain Air, it was the same thing. As I was doing it, I was thinking of all of these other stamps that I want to put with Mountain Air. And so it just makes it hard to move on to another card. I wouldn't have to, but I don't think you guys probably want to watch me doing Mountain Air every week. Every week might get a little old. I don't know, maybe you would like it. Maybe if you have Mountain Air, you might get ideas for other things to put with it. Okay, so there's the door. Done pretty well. Let's see. I actually wanted to use we're going to use the light crumb cake just to make this door a little different in color. Just a little. I don't really want it to be exactly the same as the side of the shed. This is actually a pretty nice shed. I'd like to have a garden shed like this. I don't think I really do want a horse in the paddock right next to it, because with horses, as beautiful as they are, come a lot of work. Whew. Do you guys have horses? They're beautiful. Fun. If you're a horse person, I'm sure you don't even think of it as work. I used to clean houses for a doctor outside of Spokane, Washington, doctor, and he was a really nice guy with his wife, and he had 3 kids, and they lived on this ranch. So, you know, he was a doctor. He could pay for somebody to come in. I think I came in 2 days a week to clean for them. And of course, their house was clean. That was always so funny. You'd go in and you could see evidence that they've cleaned up a little bit for you before you arrive. I always thought, well, you're paying me to come in. You really do not have to do that. But it actually was nice. She was a very organized lady. So that meant that I got to do a lot of things that, she wanted. I cleaned their furnace filters, things like that. Not every week, obviously, but just I got to clean some things that a lot of times as a house cleaner, you'd like to clean because you see these things needing to be done, but because they won't pick up their clothes or do their laundry or do their dishes or anything like that, you spend all your time doing that. All right, so I'm going to just kind of go on my shed roof, again, following the lines. Now, I don't want to get too carried away here because I don't want to make this too dark. Because of its perspective, the lines are farther apart here at the front and they're pretty close together at the back. So it's going to be a little bit darker here at the back, but that's because it kind of has to be. Okay, so that's that. I think we might put a little bit of shadow here in the shovel area with this. This is, I think this is dark crumb cake. Yes, dark crumb cake. And then we'll take our light crumb cake for the actual roof, but I kind of wanted it to have a little bit of a green tinge. On my other one it did. I'm not sure what I did over there, but I did it a tiny bit different apparently. Just to get some variation of color, I think I need to take my pen and just put it here and there just to get, how when you look at a roof, some of those tiles, doesn't really matter whether it's composite or, anything else. Slate probably or tile would be very monochromatic, but with these kinds of roofs, usually there's some variation. All right, that's gonna have to do. I do want to do my little trees, but we better get the markers out for that. Now, where did I put my markers? Here they are. All right, so markers. Let's see what we've got here. We want soft suede's perfect for my little tree trunks. That's looking kind of greenish. There's a lot of little tree trunks in these trees back here, and you don't really have to color them. They're gonna look fine even without doing that, but again, that's just me seeing a void color, and I think, I'll color you. All right, let's do some smoky slate. Hi, Aunt Connie. It's nice to see you. Thank you, Aunt Connie. My rubber band just broke. Okay, Melinda, you'd rather have dogs than cats. The horses are really big. It's true. They have a lot of what to have to deal with, and that really would be the kicker for me. Of course, I never had to do that for this family. They took care of their horse themselves. Oh, I told myself not to do that, and then I was doing it. Need the pen for those handles. The pen has a tiny, oops, that's Seaside Spray. Don't want you. Now, this is kind of a dark one. This is basic gray, and I thought I had a lighter. Maybe I got it out. No, I don't see it. I thought I had a lighter. Yes, what's this? This is gray granite. That's going to work much better. In fact, I'm going to stick you in there. gray granite. Now our markers have a nice tiny bit there, and I want these handles to be a little colorful. So we'll color those in this way. That little have you guys, if you're a gardener, my aunt is a gardener, do you use these, you know, the little, I don't know if you can even see this because it's so tiny, but it's one of the little 3-pronged cultivator tools. It's a hand tool. It's, you know, supposed to help you with weeds, and I have used it, but I find it to be very useless, actually. Curious if anyone has had that issue. All right, let's do the hat. The hat's gonna be a bright yellow, and I do have my pineapple punch. It looks neonish, doesn't it? I'm not sure. It's not too bad. It's a little on the bright side. What else do I have here? This is Daffodil Delight. That's pretty good. Probably want So Saffron, maybe. But we'll just put some Daffodil Delight on there. It's a little, and then I think I want a little of that yellow there in the window for some sun. And let's get these joined back to their proper partners. No blender pen swapping going on here. We want you guys to stick together. And that one I lost, the rubber band. I do have another one somewhere. Let's keep our crumb cakes nearby. We might not be done with them. And I thought I colored you, but you're looking very not colored, so we better get that shovel. This is the one thing about cards like this, is as you go, you're thinking, I think I colored that, and then you keep looking and thinking, well, sheesh, when am I going to get done coloring this? I thought I'd colored everything, but no. All right, Old Olive, you're going to come in and fill in a little bit, but not too much, because I don't want the horse to be too much. Now, I did do a little different color of grass, because this Old Olive, as you can see, right around the edge of the cabin, or shed, as it actually is, you want some variation of green. There's a lot of green. You don't want it to all be one shade of green. So, and also I want it to blend in with this grass. And I know I have little grass sprigs in other sets that I could do instead of what I'm going to do. But instead of taking the time to find those little sets, I just thought, I'll just put in some of my own grass. It's fine. It doesn't have to be, you know, all that big a deal. You can just kind of copy what they already have. I could use a marker and it would be a more fine tip, or just do what I'm doing. You just fake it. Pretend you know what you're doing. All right. That is that. Now I need it to be more green. And this is sea foam, so I think this will work. We're going to start with that light one. The soft sea foam. This is going to look kind of weird when I stick it on, so don't panic. It's going to be just fine. It's a little light, actually. I used some Call Me Clover on this card, and I kind of like that effect. Where did I put you? Oh, you're here somewhere. There you are. So let's get out the light Call Me Clover. Okay, I'm gonna get that out. We'll put that in there, and then also I'm putting that on this bush, and that bush I left alone, and then I put some Call Me Clover on this bush. These, again, you see all these little tiny lines. You just move your pen in the direction of those lines. You don't have to really even look all that closely at what you're doing. Just, you see a line, put some ink on it. And let's do it here, just to get, again, a little variation of color. All right. Good enough. And let's grab that Old Olive again. Yes, Old Olive. Old Olive, we want to use the dark. I think the Old Olive dark is what I used over here, but it's so dark that I gotta be a little careful. It's really, really dark. This is a teeny tiny tree in a pot. It's cute. You could put one thing I did that I really liked, one of the cards, I made these flowering bushes like Weigela or something like that. And so I saved some open space. There are no flowers on it, but just don't color some of those open spaces on your bush, and dab like in a 4 or 5 dab pattern for a little, flower. And it looked great. I don't remember what card it was, but it was using this stamp set. It was good. I liked it. All right. I do have some of my Babylon bees that I didn't do last week, but I forgot to get them out. So you'll be spared any of my humor today. All right. That is that. Okay. Oh, pine needles, Aunt Connie. You said you use it for pine needles and maple leaves. You must use it to rake things out of your bed. Is that what you're talking about? Because you can find, so what I use for that is you can find little rakes that are this, seriously, it's this long and it's this narrow on like gardensupply.com. It's a plastic one, so you can't just, jerk stuff with it, but it's sturdy plastic and it lasts a long time. And so it's a long handled thing, and you don't have to be down on your hands and knees. When my back was really bad, I found a whole bunch of very useful tools that would allow me to keep gardening, even though my body was saying, stop it. Okay, I want to leave some white, and we'll go in with some other color on that. And then now it's a little bit painstaking on this little tree because I don't want to just do too much wild dabbing on it. Those little leaves are cute. They actually are distinct. And I don't know if you can tell because of my camera lens is not the greatest. But I don't want to cover those up too much. They're cute. But I'm going to have to a little bit because I don't want to go here forever. And then we'll use that lighter color. I wasn't really thrilled with that soft sea foam. What else do I have? Aha, some dark mint macaron. Now they called it macaron. You guys are the experts. I grew up there was never any macaron. It was macaroon with 2 O's. And what's the difference between macaron and macaroon? Does anyone know? I'm fascinated by it. A macaroon is a delicious treat. I'm not sure what a macaron is. And they look really delicious, but they're not as delicious as all that. I've had them, and they're, they look a lot of that French stuff is like that. It looks a lot better there's a little pot here. Don't color over that, Kathy. All right. It has it's got pastel stuff on it, and it looks delicious, but a macaron might just taste like if you went and got a marshmallow out of your cabinet and ate it. You might. I've discovered that a macaroon is yummy. Yes, I agree. Doesn't a macaroon have coconut in it or something? I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I've never really had one. Something to do when I come up to Coeur d'Alene. You can find a place that has a macaron or macaroon. We'll go try it out and see if they're really as delicious as they look. Have you discovered that many of these things they alter the recipes, and then what used to be delicious is not quite easier to stay on the diet. They're not as delicious as they used to be. As I taste it, I think, you know what? That used to be better. I don't think it's just because I've gotten older.
I think it actually used to taste better. Now this is why you want to keep these together, because if you don't, you're having to look at every name like I am, and it's small print. I still haven't got my labels on there. This is light mint macaron now, so I'm trying to blend that in a little bit. Just a little bit. And we'll say there's some shade here too. That will give us a reason to have it a little different color right here under the horse. Right, and around the shed. And then if you don't like what you're seeing, you know, if you think, yeah, that's not blending as much as I want it to. This is a fairly small space now. I've got it down. It's not as big as it was. You can take another pen. Now this is light Granny Apple Green. This is going to be really dark, so I probably don't want that one. I actually think I'm going to have to bring out my... Whoa, we had a little fall there. We'll bring out that felt that I had, and I'm not even going to ink it anymore. I'll just use a little muscle on there and smooth this in just a little bit. I might have to ink it to get it there the way I want it. So here's Old Olive. I think I used Pear Pizzazz. Let's try a little Old Olive. Now don't go right on it. Sometimes when you stick the ink on there, here, let's put you up. If you go right on it, it's gonna obviously be way too dark. Okay, there we go. This is the effect I need now. This is getting better. One nice thing about sponging is that if you don't like what you've got, you can just keep going till it looks good. And the blending pens actually have that same effect. You can keep layering different colors on until you get what you want. Okay. Ah, look what I did. No, I think we're gonna need a cloud there now. I did not have any clouds in my sky, but now I think we're going to need a cloud. I don't even know how I managed to do that. All right, before we even worry about that, I think I'm going to get the pots done. I wanted one pot. This pot looked like a stone one to me. I don't buy any pots that are actually what they look like. They are not made, oh, there you are. Need gray granite for you. I don't buy stone pots or concrete pots. They break within probably 3 seasons. A lot of money spent on those things. Those fake ones look great. They don't look as good. They're close enough for me. So you get a fake stone pot and it can look just wonderful. So we've got a fake stone pot there. We'll use our little soft suede marker for the dirt. And this terracotta, these are terracotta tile pots. So I'm going to use Cajun Craze. We've got a terracotta marker, which is nice, but the Cajun Craze works pretty good. It's a pretty good substitute, so I'll just put some shading on the pots with the dark one and then color in with the light. It's not quite as brown as I would like it to be. It's a little bit more peachy, but so close. It's close enough. I'm happy with it. And then I think I want to use, I've got this is an old one. This is Tangerine Tango. We're going to use that. I think I want bright-handled tools. I need bright-handled tools in the garden because otherwise, every time I set them down, I lose the tool. One year, I lost a pair of pruners. I mean, we're talking like a regular set of pruners. I lost those in the garden because I was pruning, set it down, you know, when the flowers are all out and the leaves and all, you don't see it. Let's make that flower orange. I lost it until winter. I'm sure I'm not the only one these things happen to. Thank you, Marty. Okay, Marty, you might have to be going, huh? This is about the time you have to take off to get dinner going. All right, we'll put a little blue ribbon on here, and we're getting to the end. So cute. Now, I know other people probably are not going to necessarily understand why you took a half an hour or more to color their card for them. I mean, you could have gone down and bought a card, you know. But it's the joy of doing it. It's the joy. It's fun. A lot of people are paying a lot of money to color, and they go to do, oh, I forgot a pot right there. Missed it. I've seen painting classes. You pay a fair amount, you know, $30, $40, $50. And you go to the class, and they give you a palette, or they give you a canvas of some kind. They give you some surface that's going to look really cool, I'm sure. Your husband has to do the cooking. Uh-oh, I'm sorry your arm's not healing as fast as you probably wanted. And Linda, you're reheating. Awesome. Love reheating. That's always good, because then Jeff can do that himself. All right. Marty, I hope your arm is going to heal up fast, because this is the time of the year now you're going to want to be using it a bunch. There's a little frame inside your garden your shed window. And just to keep with our color, I think I'll use that tangerine on the frame in there, just a little bit, just to show there's something in there. So they've got another window on the other side, I suspect, or a picture on there. I have no idea, but we colored it orange. All right, now I'm still thinking that isn't as blended as I'd like, but you know, I might live with it. One thing on, I think one of the other cards that I did, I actually was quite successful with. I took my lightest color, so it wasn't that one. It wasn't the lightest color. I mean, it was the lightest green, darkish green, Old Olive. And I just gave it up and colored that whole thing in. This one's kind of running out, so I can't use that one. I've got to use one that's, and it has to be a light one. Where are you? I know I have you in here. There you are. I just did that because it wasn't smooth enough for me, this transition. So I just decided, I'm going to go ahead and bite the bullet and just do that. And then when I got around to this point, I thought, well, I didn't really want to, but I'm going to have to just continue my doing it, you know. I'm going to have to go all the way up here. I might have changed to another color, but I might not have. So I'm only showing this to you to show you that with blending pens, you can correct all problems. They are like my color magician. And if you don't like what you got, well, just try another blending pen on it. Because now I got some nice hill kind of things going here, and I like that, actually. I think that's going to be fine. And if I don't like it, I could just take in another blending pen that's a slightly different color and work it in again. Try to work that in. Make it work. Make it work. You're going to. And yeah, if you keep doing that, you will. You'll eventually come to something that you wouldn't have thought of originally, and you might think, I kind of like that even better than what I originally thought I was going to do. All right, so that is the blending pen advice for the day. Just keep using them. They get better the more you layer them on, at least sometimes. All right, now I want to fix that sky, and I think we've got clouds here somewhere. This mountain air cloud, I have not tried you yet. Let's look at you. Oh, what are you? You look pretty interesting. Too big for me. I don't want mountain air. What cloud do we need? My meadow, I like your clouds. Your clouds are perfect. Soft and fluffy. I don't know if soft and fluffy is going to be big enough for this big green splotch that I've got on here, but I hope it is. And we'll take our Pool Party. I might have to double up with some gray, but we'll try Pool Party for starters. Yeah, let's just do one stamp off here. Yeah, that's not going to do it. We're going to have to get some gray going here. Because it's helping, but not enough. And now I've got to add another couple here too. My clock is almost correct now, ladies. Almost. It's a little slow now, instead of being almost an hour fast. Thank you, Linda. But it's going to be perfect timing. I'm predicting in about a week and a half, it'll probably be perfectly timed. And then after that, unfortunately, it will start to go fast again. But it's kind of almost a fun thing. I don't rely on it to actually tell me the time. It's just I like to hear the chime. It's the only reason I have that clock. All right, having to use a little bit of gray, and I'm not sure. This is gray granite. I might have to put a dark, angry cloud in the sky. I did not want to do that, but I might have to. Just to conceal my green flub. Oh, the things that happen on your card. Okay, that is going to have to do. It's a little bit dark for me, but it's okay. It's okay. Just a little rain cloud. There's that Winnie the Pooh song. You remember? I'm just a little black rain cloud. I used to sing that to my kids, which they loathed, by the way. Hated that. They hated it when Mom sang that song. All right. And we are done with that. So now we can get the card assembled. The rest of it goes pretty quick. So I've got my Mossy Meadow. I can take some of that off, but not a lot. I mostly want to take it here and here. So I think I'll just grab out this little mini guy. Now remember, the mini guy is free. Join our team. This is a fun team to be on. And then you would get your own little mini trimmer for free in your starter kit. I want this to be 4 inches. Maybe even a little smaller than 4 inches would be okay. Let's make it a little smaller. In your starter kit, you can get up to over $200 worth of stuff. Now, I'm not sure of my width, so I'm just kind of going easy on that. Let's, the problem with my mini cutter for, some things is that I need more measurements than it's providing. So we'll have to get out the big one so that I have more than just 4 inches across, because I need to make sure this is 5 1/2. All right, it is now 5 1/2. Then I can see if I took enough off of the sides. I did not. So let's take off a little bit more of the side over here, but yeah, I left plenty of room by that horse so that I didn't even have to cut off his tail. With my other one, I had to cut his tail off a little bit. Perfect. All right, so we'll get that glued on, and then we'll stick it on the other card, and it's done. This is what I'm talking about with the garden scene, all of these. It's with the other things that I do, usually there's a lot of embellishments on that I don't even count as a time sucker-upper when I'm making cards. But they're major sucker-uppers for time. Sometimes these cards that you color, they might seem very labor-intensive, but the reality is that once you have finished coloring this card and sticking it on, it is almost done. I still do have to have the little tag, yes, but that's not going to take very much time at all. There's this white one that's going underneath there. I'm going to have to trim it. I must not have my cutting was just off a tad. So I will have to trim it. Now this one I'm going to put a little glue on the side back here because this one I am going to have to slide around a bit. And so I need to make sure that I've got glue on here that is going to allow me to have plenty of sliding time. So we'll stick you on there. And it's a little bit long on one side too. Oh well, it's gonna do just fine. Whoever gets it will think it's perfect. So I'll just open that up and trim off that edge that I've got. I got a little of my green with it, which I didn't mean to, but it's gonna have to be good. All right, now. I think I've got the classic label for that punch. This is your classic label punch. And all I need is a tiny scrap of Whisper White. I think I've got a tiny scrap on the side here somewhere. And some Mossy Meadow. Okay. And I think I got everything colored. These, I must have used the marker. The marker, Pineapple Punch marker is much brighter than the blending pen, Pineapple Punch. Because I'm pretty sure I used a marker. Maybe, I thought I used a marker. Anyway. There is a brighter one. That's all I'm going to say. I don't know what I used, but it was brighter. All right, so I've got From All of Us, but I'm not really sure where I got that from. What I need is some more happy birthdays. So I am going to get a happy birthday out here. I just sent out, oh man, I don't know. I sent out a whole bunch. Went down to the post office because one of the letters, the birthday cards I sent out was so fat. I used, it was this one. I wonder if I have the other one here really quick to show you. It's pretty fun. If you look on Pinterest, you'll see it. So I sent this to a personal friend of ours, and if you go on Pinterest, you'll see it. It's using this Let It Ride. Isn't that cute? But this magnet, so there's this little magnet thing here, and it's one of those galvanized clips we had and a galvanized button on it. So it's very fat. When I went into the post office so that they could weigh it and make sure that I was, paying my proper postage on it. Oops, I can't do you there. I need you to be longer than that. Okay. And the line was so long. I was thinking, my goodness, I got here early this morning so that I would not have to stay in line. I was quite sure I was there, early enough. But no, big long line. And I waited. Of course, the reason there was a big long line is I believe somebody was there for a passport or something. So that's why it was taking forever. So I just left. I'm going to just go later because I have things to do today. I can't just stand in line at the post office. I'm going to have to go on stamps.com and... Stamps.com is going to help me out. Let's see. Maybe I should put it over here and cover up my... No, I still really like it right there. That's where it's got to be. So let me take my... Oh, we've got a nice long extra piece on the end here. Let's use that. That's even too long. We'll just use that and stick it. That's the edge of our little dimensional. All right, ladies, you have a wonderful spring day. It is cold. I'm ready to put the water on, so I don't have to stand out there and water with the hose. But it looked like one day next week it was 29 or even 27. I forget, one of the two last night. And it's still one day in the next week, it is going to be 69. This is their prediction, their forecast. 69 in the morning. And, in the day, 69 degrees during the day, and the low is going to be 21.
When I saw that, I was thinking, you've got to be kidding me. They can't be right. That's a huge swing, but they can. It can be like that here. It can be super cold at night and warm in the day, so it means I have to water out there. All right, thank you so much, Marty and Linda and my aunt and anyone else who watches later. Jewel probably will have a chance to watch later. I hope so. And hopefully she's doing well. You guys have one. Ooh, I see a clematis vine right out my window that's growing, and it's going to have some nice flowers on it. So that'll be nice. When they bloom, I'll show you. All right. What is going on in the Stampin' Up! World really quick? We have probably about 2.5 weeks left of our celebration. So get in there and get those items before they are gone. Several things have sold out already, so it's time to get in and buy that stuff before it's gone. But you probably have already everything you want. But if you don't, get in there and get it. And second release, there's going to be another second release of stuff, or third release, actually. There's a third release coming up, and I forget what's in that. I'll show it later. I'm not too concerned about it right now. I'll have to pay attention, though. As the time comes down, I'll have to get it out, get something out, get it going. All right. Thanks a lot, ladies. You have a wonderful day, and I will see you next week. Bye. Oops. Bye.